This week from GNC Week in Review, powered by GeekNewsCentral.com. Samsung is setting a standard for attorney generals that are suing Google, and John Stankey says the competitors, go ahead and raise your prices. Those are some of the tech news stories from this week. We're loving this music. And
might be a bad idea because I'm going to keep doing that. It's not going to stop. If you're listening on audio, you're missing out. You should definitely be watching us on YouTube.
Yep, gncweekly.com/live. Those are some of the tech news stories from this week, and it's Friday, January 28th, 2022. My name is Kirk Corliss.
And I'm Scott Ertz.
And it's episode 101 of GNC Week in Review podcast, proud partner of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. And I see you drinking. I'm not going to make you laugh. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. As he said, we are live on gncweekly.com/live. So please be sure to say hello and chat or comment. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to the GNC WIR channel on YouTube. If you missed the live video, you can always catch the replay later. If you are a new listener, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, where you can find on the right-hand side column at gncweekly.com, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. If you have a comment, be it on social media or email, those links can be found at gncweekly.com/connect. So I love the music. I have to agree. Because we love StreamYard and their features and their software, and they just introduced background music.
Yeah.
So I am like a happy puppy. So when I was looking through the choices, that's one I'm like, I played it initially because I was testing it out, and Scott was like, "Am I hearing something? Is that music?"
I'm not having a stroke, right? There's music in the background.
That's what he said.
I don't smell toast, so I think I'm okay.
So we're incorporating little things. Our logo's coming soon. Intro video is coming soon, so it looks from what Scott was discussing it's looking really, really good.
We've had a whole design studio going over here because we've been doing all kinds of logos lately.
Cool. So it's coming. So
it's coming.
So definitely keep an eye out for that. Now, before we dissect the tech news of the week, a few things. First, there's a few people that thanked us and congratulate us on our 100 episode, which we really, really appreciate it. It was a 2-hour plus episode.
Yes,
Normally our episodes are about an hour 30, hour 40-ish, so but it was a lot that we wanted to wrap up with CES. So a lot of it, we did just dived in a tiny bit on the tech news of the week. So for those that tuned in, for those that are tuning in now, thank you so much. We really, 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 really do appreciate it. Also, I wanted to mention, and I didn't plug it we didn't plug it last week because there was so much. I want to go over a couple of things. First, as we all know, is our giveaway. We have we have CES swag and some TPM merch. So the best way to do that, to enter, we're giving it's for 2 winners. It's gncweekly.com/giveaway. And we have about exactly 1 week from tonight. That'll be February 4th, and we'll be announcing the winners on the February 11th episode. So it'll be, I had some swag that I grabbed, massage gun, some sunglasses, a stress reliever, a few other things, and we're gonna throw in some TPM merch. So we're gonna throw in a T-shirt, a mask. So definitely enter in. All the rules are on the site. You're about to say something.
Oh, I'm not about to say anything.
Okay.
I'm showing off some of the merch.
Yep. So as he's showing as you're watching, if you're listening on audio, Scott's showing off the black mug with the.
I had the white one for you last week. Mm-hmm. I've got the black one for you this week.
Nice. Well,
so again, our viewers are getting the experience of both.
Cool. Well, again, I'm due one, so definitely Yeah, I'm definitely due one.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check it out. So speaking of TPN merch, if you head on over to plughits.live/CES/shop, over there, there's t-shirts there, mugs like he showed off, masks, a lot of cool stuff there to check out. And last but not least, we want to, as Scott is host
Still
of.
dancing. I can still hear the music in my head. It's long gone, and I am still dancing to it.
I gotta get I gotta ask Streamart for the longer one. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So last up, Scott is host of F5 Live Refresher Technology. And a great way to, as Scott's showing off the hat. Want you guys to head on over to youtube.com/plugitslive. Scott, do you want to explain, join the tiers and what members will get?
Absolutely. So we've got a membership going over there. You get a couple of things, in particular, the membership level that gives you the most content for your buck is the blue shirt, but it's all based on Star Trek. So we start with the red shirts. Those are our free subscribers. Then we have our blue shirts, our yellow. What is it?
You're thrown off now.
I don't know. We've got blue is the one that matters. Blue is the one you want.
Right.
So for, I think it's $6.99 a month, you get our show for ad free. So all of the content gets the ads knocked off for you. So, okay, here we go. So $2.99 is the yellow shirts. And then you get blue shirts. That's interesting. Those are backwards. That's why I keep getting confused by it. Those are backwards. Doesn't matter. This is how it is. So this is how we're going to go with it.
There you go.
You get early access to new videos. Right now, that's the thing that's the coolest, because our CES videos, as they're edited, get put in for blue shirt members. So that's really cool. You get shout outs on the show. There are photo and status updates that are exclusive for members. F5 Live, all of the segments get published individually, and they get published without their ads, which is pretty cool. That knocks, honest to God, if you watch the show straight through under this, that knocks like 10 minutes off the show. It's interesting. And then member only live streams. There's some stuff that we do over on Twitch that we don't do on YouTube unless you're a member. So lots of stuff over there. The yellow shirts get some things, and then there's the green tier where you get your name and the credits and stuff like that. But honestly, blue is where you want to be. I'm not gonna lie. Blue is where you want to be. That's the one that gets you the most interesting stuff.
And full disclosure, I'm a blue shirt. So we definitely support each other, our shows. So we want you guys, because we're cross promoting our content, our channel, Scott, vice versa. So we want to, help out our TPN network folks.
Right.
So yeah, definitely check it out. I've been been with Scott for the past 3-4 years. It's a blast. Doing the CES coverage and things of that nature, and anything that he brings up, with first looks or anything that's going on down in Tampa. I definitely want to support him and his endeavors as well. So youtube.com/plugitslive, go to the join button, which is somewhere on the lower bottom
corner.
Top right corner. Okay.
Depending on whether you're on the phone or the computer, or
right.
If you put /join at the end, it'll just pop the pop-up up for you. So
okay, cool. All right. I was trying to share the screen on the site, but I'm like, for whatever reason, it's not showing. I can't pull it up because it's weird. Okay. All right. With that, never mind.
Computers.
Ah. All right. All right. So let's dive in with the tech news for this week. In last week's episode, there was a multitude of rumors about the Samsung Galaxy S22. Thanks to the news gods, Samsung has confirmed a date and time for its next Galaxy Unpacked event. It's on Wednesday, February 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. That's early. And a lot of their events, Samsung events, are early in the morning. Samsung's always been like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So the invitation that was emailed to the tech press featured a large S with the words "the epic standard," and we're expecting to see the Galaxy S22 series debut on a live stream. Samsung itself had already hinted that a new S series Ultra device will be coming in February, and so say goodbye to the Note series. Wah wah. From the rumors from this past month, S22 Ultra will indeed have a silo for the S Pen stylus, like the Note did. The S22 is rumored to have a slightly smaller 6.1-inch display compared to the S21 6.2-inch panel. There's also leaks so far that don't suggest any major feature or design shifts coming with the S22, just some upgrades to keep pace with the 2022 flagship class. So whatever's announced in a couple of weeks, we'll have news from it and all the details, how to order, pricing, etc.
I'm not surprised that the Note name is dead, which is, again, it's rumored, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
The Note is almost certainly a dead brand. Ever since the 7, they have struggled to rehabilitate the product, and there was no coming back from that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving it into the primary line and just calling it the Ultra makes perfect sense to me.
Oh, without question. And also too is that, and I was thinking, I'm surprised that usually Samsung has had their big announcement for the new phone at CES. And
sometimes at CES, but also sometimes at Mobile World Congress.
Why no?
They've been a little unpredictable.
Well, I know they announced the S21 2021. It was virtual. So I was kind of surprised that, because Samsung was a heavy presence at CES, minus like the other companies. And when I was there with Todd, walking around their booth, it was a big, gigantic booth. They had the latest. They had the Samsung FE. They had the Galaxy Watch. They had their TVs, but I was like, if they want to put, if they want to make a big splash, I'm surprised they didn't have it at CES. But
so it's interesting because I saw a post that I wrote in 2016 on Facebook, and I was comparing. Apparently, this was exactly 5 years since the primary debate that Trump decided not to participate in, and I was comparing it to CES and the marketing decision, right? The idea that it's a big crowded field, and he said, "I'm not going." And what happened? All the news stations talked about him not going, and then he did his own thing, and everybody talked about that. So, So, same thing, right? Big crowded field. Everybody's at CES. Everybody's showing off phones. Everybody's showing off this. And Microsoft did this, which was the comparison that I was making, was that Microsoft had just recently announced that they weren't going to participate in CES anymore. At least not the way they had. They weren't going to do a big press event and announce new products because for them it made more sense to scatter it throughout the year and not try to work to the CEA's timeline, but to their own, and to do their own events. And it's worked out for them. And I think generally it's been working out for Samsung as well to do things off schedule, because they stopped doing the Note announcements at Mobile World
Right.
Congress.
Right.
So
Well,
I think they've just decided the same thing that Microsoft did. We don't need to work on your schedule. We're going to work on ours, and we're going to take all the attention. It's what has happened in the gaming industry. How many press events actually happen during E3 now? None. So
Right.
much so that E3's canceled the show this year. It's not even going to be virtual. They're done. Boop. No E3 2022.
Oh, wow. Well, E3 is big, but I remember Steve Winter talking to Todd on the live when we were live. I think it was day 2. Was it day 2 or day 3? It was day 2. And
day 3, he was with me.
Okay, that's right. You're right. So on day 2, when he talked to Todd, he mentioned that these big companies should be there. And he did say that virtual doesn't work for some.
Yeah.
But the company should have been there to make those announcements. And because also you had not only Microsoft not there, Google wasn't there.
But Microsoft hasn't done a press event since 2015, I think.
Right.
So this is number 7 without a Microsoft press event. So that wasn't anything new. They haven't had a floor presence since 2015. So this, for Microsoft, it wasn't new. But yeah, like John Deere, I think pulled their entire thing, which is part of the big gap, I think, that you saw in the video when you were in West Hall. I think it was John Deere, that big hole that they filled with like tables and
right.
I think that was John Deere.
Yeah, it was, and I was surprised, but also to not only that, but like the one big announcement which they didn't hype up was Sony in their car, and you did say that they're making a car, so that's a big deal. The BMW car,
I mentioned it on the live show,
you did,
and everybody in the studio went, "What?
Right.
You're there," and you didn't know it was happening.
Yeah,
which was a huge problem for Sony. Which I think brings me back to, if you're big enough that people are going to cover you anyway, if you're Sony, if you're Microsoft, if you're Samsung, you can get away with making a big deal outside of that week. But if you're John Deere and you're talking about technology, you've got to be there.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But Samsung announcing something on February 9th,
right?
Nobody's going to miss that announcement.
No, but they're not that I can miss the announcement, but when they're trying to, in a sense, they're rebranding themselves when they say they're setting air quotes, setting the standard. They're looking to make them look better. And what happened, sadly with the Note series.
Right.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we'll have a wrap up on what the phone's going to be, the pricing, and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to, and their Samsung Unpacked events. Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm trying to remember what company it used to be who would do these big press events, like during CES or Mobile World Congress or Computex, that Avram always talked about. I don't think it was Lenovo, but it might have been, that were unpredictable because they were always going to do one weird thing. What just happened? Did everybody else just see that video? Because what was that?
The one Samsung Unpacked event, I think they had it in New York City, and it was like a musical, and they were singing about the features, and there was like a car that got tilted to the side, and I was like, what
is happening? Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Samsung seems to have picked up that mantle because whoever it was doesn't do it anymore, and now Samsung's like, you know what? We've got a stupid idea,
right? Right, exactly.
I mean, it's no LG having a washing machine rise up out of the floor or whatever that was a couple of years ago.
I saw that one too. Yeah, that was nuts.
I was in the room for that. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, I was, and the other
But
one.
you know what? It's been years, and I still remember it, and I know it was LG.
Yep. Yeah, I remember at that one, like it was yesterday, that event in New York City. I was just, they were singing and twirling around and, and like big band music, and I'm like, oh, and people, and a lot of the commenters were just like, this is an event. It's more like a disaster.
Yeah. Oh, somebody at the circus got drunk.
Right. Right. Well, we'll see. I will definitely, if we see, we'll keep an eye on it. If we see any shenanigans, we're definitely going to cover it. And
like Avram always says, we're in the business of interesting, not good.
Right. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right. Next up, 4 attorney generals are suing Google for allegedly misleading users about when the company was able to track location. The bipartisan group of attorney generals from the District of Columbia, Indiana, Texas, and Washington allege in separate lawsuits filed on Monday that Google deceived users from at least 2014 to 2019 by leading them to believe that turning off, quote, location history settings would make the service stop tracking the whereabouts. But the AGs allege a user's location could still be tracked by Google unless they have turned off settings in the web and app activity section. Google describes
even then,
right? Google describes web and app activity as a way to personalize experiences for users by saving searches and activity in user account. The AGs allege that Google misled users to believe that once they turn their location history off, their whereabouts will no longer be hacked. The Washington lawsuit alleges, quote, yet even when consumers explicitly opted out of location tracking by turning location history off, Google nevertheless recorded consumers' location via other means. Although web and app activity setting is automatic, enabled for all Google accounts, the company's disclosures during Google account creation did not mention of the draw consumer attention to the setting until 2018. The AGs also
why would they do that?
Right.
Then you know it exists and that's the one you should turn off.
Right. The AGs allege that Google profited from the deception by filling its advertising business with such data. The lawsuits specifically request the court to require Google to offload any algorithms created with the allegedly ill-gotten gains alongside monetary profits. Google spokesperson Jose Castaneda said in a statement, quote, and this is a general boilerplate response, quote, the attorneys general are bringing a case based on inaccurate claims and outdated assertions about our settings. We've always built privacy features into our products and provided robust controls for location use. We will vigorously defend ourselves and set the record straight, which means
you caught us. We have always built privacy features into our products. I seem to remember a product called Google Wave, in which Google automatically enrolled everybody with a Gmail account and then connected everybody on Wave to everybody who was in their Gmail address book, including a woman whose ex-husband was in her address book so that she could block his emails because he was abusive. And he found out where she was because it was showing location data without telling anybody. We've always built privacy features into our products.
And also they got rid of Flock, and they're doing the stories, which they're saying that, getting rid of your, we're not going to track you with cookies, but yet.
Don't worry. We're not going to. There's no cross-domain cookies in Chrome anymore. Now, we've built something more powerful, but don't worry about that.
Right.
Only worry about this buzzword that you're scared of. Stupid.
I don't understand how, and I guarantee you when they say they're going to quote vigorously defend it in court, they're basically going to blow a lot of smoke up people's butts, because a lot of people know that they still track you.
Yes,
they still track you. I just don't. I really, that boggles my mind, where it's people think that Google's is is like going to save you, and they're not.
Yeah, they don't care about you.
Oh.
That's something that I want everybody to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Google doesn't care about you.
Right.
Apple doesn't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
I might be okay. Apple doesn't care about you.
Right.
Google doesn't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft doesn't care about you. None of these companies care about you.
Right.
They care about the information that you're willing to voluntarily or involuntarily share with them.
Right. And people still to this day, people to this day don't realize that Google is all about ads, and they think that it's when you're searching for something, yes, you're going to search for something, but there's ads all over.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I'm like, people don't understand. It's like that's their main income, is their main revenue coming in is ads.
Yeah.
And that's not going to go away anytime soon. So
no, it is not. Not even a little bit.
Well, good luck, Google, on the lawsuit, because
you know what? They won in the Supreme Court against Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
I am very infrequently on Google's side on things. I was on their side on that one. They won. They took it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
So they are willing to defend things.
Yeah.
Way past their expiration date.
Yep. All right. Next, now there's a lot of folks that were bummed about the price increase from Netflix. However,
which one? Oh, right.
Right. However, John Stankey, and again, I'll said it once, I said it before, and I'll say it again. He must got teased mercilessly as a kid.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it. He says that's good news for HBO Max. During the earnings call for HBO Max parent AT&T on Wednesday, the company CEO said the higher price of competitors will help HBO grow in the U.S. He said
I gotcha.
You did.
See? That was not my intention.
You did. He said, quote, "We said the market was going to come to us on pricing, and lo and behold, we are no longer the high price offer in the market. The nice part about that is we think it'll allow us to have domestic growth as we move forward." While he didn't say Netflix, the company recently raised its prices across all its plans, bumping the popular standard plan to $15.50 from $14 per month. Its 4K plan, meanwhile, now costs $20 per month. That means Netflix outprices most major on-demand streaming services in the market, including HBO Max, which costs $15 per month or $10 per month with ads. In terms of the,
I had forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm.
That there was the ad-supported version. I had forgotten that they had added that.
Yeah, and I have Verizon Fios, and I have HBO, so it's $10. So I get HBO Max with my subscription. So
okay. While we're talking about it, everybody, if you have cable, that's the way to go.
Yep.
Because they'll give you deals on HBO, and if you have HBO, you get HBO Max. Call your cable company, find out what the deal is, sign up for it. When the deal is over, threaten to cancel.
Yep. Or as known as the chicken challenge. Yeah, it's $10.
I haven't heard that name in years. Oh, since I was involved with DirecTV.
Mm-hmm.
Because DirecTV would do that stuff. Oh, for the first 6 months, you get this package for $24.99, and then it goes to $89.99 after 6 months. Whoa, what happened?
Right.
Fine print. You didn't read it. Well, I'm going to cancel. Go tell them that.
Yeah, definitely. That's he is right, because definitely with your if you have Verizon or Cox, Spectrum, all the name, pick your cable company. Definitely call them and ask. And a lot of the streaming channels you'll get for free. Especially with Hulu. I'm trying to think. I think there's different plans. I have to look. I think there's plans with Hulu with a cable company. I'm not sure which one it is.
I don't know anymore because I think it used to be with Comcast when Comcast owned 33% of the company, which they don't anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Comcast. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about or what we're talking about, just definitely let us know. GNCweekly.com/connect or tweet at us. Or if you're watching right now, definitely let us know in chat. Or comment. So, but yeah, definitely do that. But he also he's also saying that about in terms of its competitive edge over streaming services that launch their products at lower price points to win over subscribers. Stankey said that those services are likely to have difficulty ramping up their average revenue per user, adding, quote, "It's all about being diligent and adding customers at a moderated pace."
Disney would disagree.
Right.
But people who signed up on the first day also learned that moderation can be good.
And
that service failed.
And to be honest, I have HBO Max, I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have
Prime.
Amazon Prime. Yep. Hashtag sponsor, not sponsored. So with the value that I get, with those services, I'm enjoying them. I mean, I'm watching right now Netflix, Knight Rider right now.
Okay.
So it's I haven't watched that since it aired in '83. So that made me right. Yep, exactly. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm just kind of curious to see what's gonna happen. Knock on wood that that they haven't increased their prices just yet. But
so there's a couple of things about his theory that cause problems. One, they still have the stink of being the expensive option, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that can be hard to get rid of. They've also got the launch day feeling that you can't watch it everywhere, which isn't entirely true anymore, right? It's finally on Roku. There were places where it wasn't that it is now, but some people will never let that out of their head. And then you've got the issue of, well, honestly, what's on HBO Max that I feel that I need to watch? I can name a couple of things on Netflix right off the top of my head that are must-have for Netflix. I can't name anything on HBO Max that's a must-have for me.
Let's see. Well,
but I also don't have HBO Max. So there's this whole thing where, I'm already in Netflix. I know what's coming. I know what's exciting. They do. Netflix is what HBO used to be for comedy, right? They produce all of the stand-up specials now. HBO doesn't produce any stand-up specials anymore. They used to be the place. If you were getting a TV special, it was because of HBO. Not anymore. It's Netflix. Everybody goes to Netflix for comedy. So, they have to try and break some of that. I don't think price is exclusively their problem. They need to make a bigger deal about the fact that HBO is Warner Media. Warner Media is DC, and all of the DC content is there because that's worked for Disney Plus.
So do you think that maybe that Netflix is lacking on content or okay?
I don't think Netflix is for sure.
Okay.
Netflix isn't. I think HBO has the stink of when they launched, there was nothing to recommend it. There was no reason you had to have HBO Max. And it's if you're the new kid in town, right? Even Quibi launched with Reno 911, right? HBO Max launched with the promise of a Friends reunion in a year,
which was 2 years later.
You know what I mean?
Right.
HBO. So I think there are a couple of residual things that HBO Max needs to shake off, but now they have this. Well, we're the same price as Netflix. So come try us out. What do you got? What have you got to lose? Come look at all this stuff that we've got. We have movies sometimes same day as the theater. Come check out what we're doing over here. I think there are ways that they could break it, but this attitude isn't it. They need to pair this with, we have content. We are everywhere. They need to make a big deal about that and say, look, Netflix is more expensive than us now.
And that's why we titled that John Stankey Throwing Shade. And if you see it, because, just to give you guys that are watching and listening, when we do the episodes and we break down the news and I pull the stories and everything, I try to find it, find some humorous, even during an episode, we'll have a show title. We'll have a show title, but then later on
during the show we'll blow it out. Oh nope, that's better.
Right. So just give you some behind the scenes of it, and I was going through the thumbnail, and I'm working on it, and I was cracking up. I was dying because I had to put this in as a thumbnail. And Scott said, "You're ridiculous."
You are, and this is not exclusive, evidence of it, but it does help.
No, I was still cracking up. I told Scott I was still cracking up because I was typing everything up and getting everything ready, and I was giggling like a schoolboy last night. So, but that was so definitely, you may have us, probably, we're halfway through, but maybe we'll probably change the show title, but
you never know. But never know. So let's stay on the HBO topic for a minute because there's another one down here.
Yep.
So on the topic of growth at HBO Max, they had growth.
Yeah.
Right. In the announcement, they also talked about the fact that they had 5.3 million new subscribers. Representing, what's that work out to? 7.5-8% market growth year over year. That's impressive, and that's pre-Netflix price increase. But it also happened in the year where theaters were closed and movies were premiering on HBO Max at the same time or before on the big screen. So what they need to do is they need to figure out how to hold these people, right? If they can hold these 5.3 million new subscribers and continue even moderate growth, if they can do half of that over the next 12 months, then they will have proven that they're solid, because that would what? Even them out at 75 million subscribers in 12 months, which is not a bad place to be.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But even, they're fighting back and saying, the CEO of Time Warner is saying that the service grew much faster than Netflix.
Right.
So basically, Netflix is throwing shade, saying, okay, go ahead. We're fine where we're at. We're going to raise our prices, but then HBO Max didn't. And they're like, nah.
Right. So yeah, Netflix missed its growth, but I don't think. Here's the thing, they've got like an eighth of a million, no, almost a quarter million subscribers. Right. They've got 220 million subscribers, almost the population of the United States. Right. Is subscribed to Netflix. That's huge. As opposed to the 71-ish million on HBO Max. it's easier to grow in big percentages when your starting number is lower.
Yeah.
But it's still only 71 million subscribers. 72, 70, something like that. 73, I don't know, somewhere in there. But
Right.
70 something compared to 220 something, right? Even if you had the same 5.3 million new subscribers on 220 million subscribers, 5's not that impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is on 60 something. So, statistics can tell a false story.
Right, but also numbers, but numbers don't lie.
Right. Well, I mean, they can.
Yeah. Well,
because you can tell a false narrative with numbers because 8% market growth is nice. It's impressive, but that would work out to like 18 million new subscribers on Netflix, which is a huge number and would make HBO Max's systems crash if they had that many new subscribers all at once.
Right. Yeah, I'm just hoping. Well, I'm probably speaking for a lot of people that if HBO Max does, well, does increase their monthly price, to be honest, I don't think people would balk at it. I really don't, because HBO Max has, and I use it. I watch it literally almost every couple of days, and I'm watching like the old series, I'm watching right now Veep, which is really good. And what else I have in my queue? I have to look and see. So I have a lot in my queue, that some of the comedy series I have in my queue. So I feel that for $10 a month with my subscription, I think there's value, because they have a lot of good content. They have the DC, not DC. They have DC on there.
Yes,
they do. Okay. They have the old cartoon.
DC is also owned by Warner.
Right. They also
I saw one of the funniest things I've ever seen the other day. It was a meme. It said Marvel's greatest villains, and it had all the Marvel villains, and then at the bottom it said DC's greatest villains, and it was just the Warner Brothers logo.
Okay. So there is value. So I don't anticipate them raising their subscription plans. But again, I think that if they do with this year, again, I don't think people will balk about it. I really don't.
Yeah, the people who have already learned that it's a platform for them.
Right.
What they need to do is they need to figure out how to teach more people that they're not the HBO Max they were 2 years ago.
Exactly.
That's the problem. There's this stain in people's minds. Because personally, I feel it. I know it's not true. And when I think about HBO Max, I think about how long it was that it wasn't on Roku, and how long it was before there was something on it that I could even remotely care about. And, right. So there were all these problems that even in my head, but then I go, no, that's stupid. That's in the past. But that's only because I'm conscious of the situation. So they've got some problems to deal with, but I think they'll be able to deal with them.
Yeah, I think so. So to be continued. So if Stanky wants to throw some shade, they better do it the right way, or else.
Okay. I want to talk about this Amazon thing.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen anything about this.
All right, shoot. Okay. All right. So Amazon has killed a program under which it paid warehouse employees to say nice things about the company on social media. Amazon quietly shut down and removed all traces. This is from the Financial Times, excuse me. Amazon quietly shut down and removed all traces of the influence campaign at the end of last year. People direct knowledge of the decision told the Financial Times. Financial Times noted that the social media program suffered from, quote, poor reach and embarrassing backfires. You think? Amazon began paying workers to tweet in 2018 to counter negative perceptions about the company. As Business Insider reported in August 2018, quote, the company now has a small army of, quote, FC ambassadors saying nice things about the company online and engaging in dialogue with average Twitter users. The ambassadors are full-time employees, according to an Amazon spokesperson, and it's their job to share their experience working at a fulfillment center. FC stands for fulfillment centers, and the, quote, ambassadors worked in the Amazon warehouses before being paid a tweet. And in at least some cases, they split duties between the warehouse and Twitter. One Amazon employee explained in 2018 as seen as in a Bellingcat report that found 53 Amazon FC ambassador accounts on Twitter. Quote, I get paid $15 an hour whether I'm answering tweets or out on the floor stowing. I do this 2 days a week, and 2 days a week I stow. Amazon's paid tweeters were instructed on how to deny negative statements about the company's warehouses. This is from an internal document published by Intercept in March 2021, showed with stories about Amazon employees needing to urinate in bottles circulating the document that ambassadors should respond, quote, that's not right. I worked in Amazon FC for over 4 years and never saw anyone urinate in a bottle. There are easily accessible bathrooms in every one of our buildings I've ever been in. That was included in a section titled, quote, draft examples to use in training. Employees posted many tweets praising the experience of working in Amazon warehouses, with text saying, quote, do you know that Amazon pays warehouse workers 30% more than other retailers? I feel proud to work for Amazon. They've taken good care of me, much better than some of my previous employers. As for why Amazon killed the ambassador program, Wednesday's Financial Times report said that some senior Amazon executives, quote, were unhappy with the scheme's poor reach. The campaign also backfired when a number of spoof accounts gave the false impression some Amazon workers had gone rogue. Amazon declined to comment on the program's disclosure. Ars Technica followed up, contacted Amazon on Wednesday, and they did not get a response. And quite honestly, if I worked at Amazon, if I'm only getting paid $20 an hour or $25 an hour, if it's a great job or not, I'm not going to tweet on Amazon my job. And if there's any problems, I'll deal with it myself. And you're going to.
Okay. I love this idea. Not because it's a good idea, but because of how spectacularly stupid it is.
Agreed.
The idea that you would have employees on the clock just tweeting, going, no, that's not really happening. Shh. Come on. Are you kidding? Here's the thing. That's going to get out, which is going to undermine every positive tweet that any employee has ever made. Right? On or off the clock. All of a sudden, they have undermined all the goodwill. And the idea that they would be engaging specifically to reply to stories of known issues, documented issues. Ridiculous. I'm not a fan of ambassador marketing in general. It's one of the reasons why when Monster used to refer to us as ambassadors, it used to drive me crazy because I didn't feel like ambassadors tend to be people who post too many photos on Instagram. And for me, it was literally that I just always had these on around my neck. Like, this is just how I walked around all the time. That's not quite the same thing, right? And I don't consider myself an ambassador for Aftershocks, even though I have those on all the time, and we have no official relationship with the company. So the idea of ambassador marketing is silly to me. But the idea that they're legitimate employees, they're going, no, don't market the company. like our products and services, try to convince people that our truck drivers aren't peeing in bottles.
We got a short title.
See, we warned you. We warned our listeners and viewers that there was a likelihood we would come up with something else.
Yep. Amazon ambassadors are silly to me.
Just the whole concept is so stupid.
Yep. And even, I mean, I'm proud. I mean, I work for a company. I'm not proud of it. Proud of the company. I mean, I'm proud of it in some ways. I'm proud of it in others. But
you're not embarrassed by.
No,
is what you're saying.
Exactly. But also, again, in the same token, I would not tweet about it. I mean, if there is cases,
I didn't talk about. I was at Radio Shack for a decade. I didn't talk about it until we had left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we really didn't talk about it until the company was gone. But that's a whole
different story. But honestly, I mean, and it also too, and in fact, I ran into someone that I known for many years ago. I was with him. I was shopping at Walmart. I think it was a few months ago, and I told him about the stories that I've seen and reports on the news about these employees, urinating bottles, and he looked at me dead in the face and said, "No, I love working at Amazon," and I'm like, okay. I think they're like. They're
Are
trained.
You one of the 53?
Right.
Does FC ambassador mean anything to you?
Right. When he said that he's proud to work there, the hint that I think he was lying. I really do, because I've seen the news reports, and there's a lot of groups on Facebook that profess their despise of working at a company.
Sure.
But
there was a very active website, radioshacksucks.com. I don't know if it still exists. I owned a sister domain. I probably still do.
You got to see that.
That was not about the company, though.
Okay.
It was about the company's worst CEO in history. Anyway, but I was happy, very happy about my time at Radio Shack. I loved the company. Yes, there were things that were a problem, but that's going to be any group of people, right?
Right.
A group of friends. There's going to be situations where you're like, I think you need to go in the other room right now, or I might punch you. Right? But at no point was I like, oh no, Radio Shack's a great company. Julian Day's a terrible CEO. You're absolutely right.
But at that time, but you wouldn't tweet or I mean, obviously back in the day.
And that's my point. I wouldn't have, if somebody came up to me and said, I hear Julian Day's a terrible CEO, I'd be like, yeah. 100% they need to fire him.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't say that I owned a domain encouraging it to happen.
No. No, we don't encourage that. Don't do that.
But yeah, I mean he's long gone. But yeah, I mean, I'd have been like, yeah, Julian Day's a terrible CEO. I hear these stories about truck drivers peeing in bottles. Yeah, I've heard them too.
Yep.
That's, if I worked for Amazon, that would be it. I feel a little bit like there's a bit of a cult mentality going on.
Exactly. That's right? What that's when I was talking to him. He had that mentality of a cult, because he was like, happy as a pig in poop, that he's working at Amazon. And when I told him that, and that there are actual legitimate news stories and reports from these employees, he basically just laughed it off. I'm like, really? I mean, that's horrible for some of those employees that have to go through that. Right. And on top of that, for Amazon to pay them to lie, that's wrong.
That's even worse. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
But
makes me think of those early Apple iPhone customers.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
One
of
of my
Apple,
all-time favorite stories. Go ahead. Speaking of Apple,
I still got the shit right. And I still got the shit out of my head. Oh my goodness gracious. See, this is why this episode. So I gotta say, when we have, I mean, there's tech podcasts, with ours and Geeking Central and F5 Live, because we like dissect news, and we have fun with it. And I gotta say, like, definitely subscribe to this, to our podcast and to the channel, because you never know. Each episode, you never know what's going to happen next.
For sure. Partially because I don't even look at the rundown until we're started. Most of the
that's
time.
also true, right? That's also true. All right. So speaking of Apple, all right, Apple has obtained a restraining order against a woman who was allegedly stalking CEO Tim Cook.
What did she think she was possibly going to get out of that?
I give her one thing. She's awfully bold to do it. According to,
please tell me she was using an AirTag.
No.
I would pay for her bail if she managed to stalk Tim Cook using an AirTag, which their own nanobot cult mentality has convinced people. No, people aren't stalking each other with AirTags. Yes, they are. Because it's real easy to do.
Mm-hmm. According to documents filed with California's Santa Clara County Superior Court, Apple claims the Virginia woman drove across the country to make contact with Cook. The woman also allegedly trespassed on Cook's property on 2 separate occasions. This is from court documents.
But this is where things get real.
Mm-hmm. Apple also claims the woman sent several emails to Cook with pictures of a loaded handgun she said she brought along with ammunition. Apple first became aware of the woman after spotting tweets she wrote claiming to be Cook's wife. Now, for those who don't know, Tim Cook is
famously gay.
And that Cook was the father of her twin children. Okay.
Oh, so we've got a Justin Bieber or Michael Jackson situation here.
Exactly. The restraining order issued by the court protects not only Cook but any individuals woman knows are Apple employees, as well as any property owned by Apple. Apple declined to comment on restraining order. Why would they decline to comment? It's
okay. That is quite a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as she learns that somebody works for Apple, the restraining order goes into effect.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And for her to drive cross country, that takes
from Virginia to California. I mean, she's no astronaut. She didn't do it in a diaper, but it is quite a commitment. And then to be tweeting that she's his wife,
right?
First of all, again, famously gay. Second, if that were the case, why are you living in a random place in Virginia and not with your husband?
Right.
Not just that he's the father of your twin children, which I can promise you.
Right.
No. But that you're married, but living on the other side of the country? Come on. Delusions. This is not uncommon for people who are, very much in the public eye. Michael Jackson had somebody claim that he was the father of her children or child, to which he wrote a song about which he wrote a song.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, Maria something, I think, accused him of the exact same thing, right? And here you've got another delusional woman making the same claim against Cook, which I mean is less credible even than Bieber. Probably on the same credibility level as Michael Jackson. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
but that's wild.
Yeah,
But the idea that the restraining order applies to anybody who works for Apple
on the property
immediately upon learning that they work for Apple. So you can be at a restaurant having dinner and somebody behind you says, you know, how was your day at the Apple store? Boom, restraining order kicks in. She's got to move. I can't wait to see how this is enforced.
But imagine also too, Apple has their stores. So if she's in Virginia,
Shopping
she goes
malls.
to shopping mall, she cannot go anywhere near the store. And oh wow, that's
her delusions just legitimately changed her life.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Speaking of odd and delusional, and this is going on the odd path now for a moment.
I don't know. I think this whole topic is fairly delusional, but continue.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Reddit is testing a feature that will allow its users to set any NFT they own as their profile picture. Not only its own, not only its own Ethereum. Thank you. Based NFTs called Crypto Snooze, released in quantities last year. A similar feature allows users to set their NFTs profile pictures, recently launched on Twitter, where the photos themselves
hexagon.
Yeah, provide information about the NFT when clicked and appear as hexagon-shaped images to differentiate them from the standard Twitter profile pic. Details about how Reddit support for NFTs would work, however, aren't yet cited. In a statement provided to TechCrunch, Reddit explained this particular NFT test is in very early stages and hasn't been made available to public users on the site.
That's what happens when you have 3 developers trying to keep Reddit alive.
Mm-hmm. Reddit spokesperson Tim Ratschmidt, if I mispronounced his name, I apologize, says, quote, "We're always exploring ways to provide value for users and communities on Reddit. At the moment, we're testing the ability to use NFTs as profile pictures or avatars and verify ownership. It's a small internal test and no decisions have been made about expanding or rolling out the capability." Reddit has been experimenting with various initiatives around NFT for some time, having even set up a dedicated page for NFT-related activities at nft.reddit.com. For the time being, the page primarily focuses on the Crypto Snooze, which are Reddit's own digital collectibles. Now, for those who don't know what the Snoo is, part of the word references Reddit's alien mascot, aka Snoo, and the collectibles themselves are variations on Snoo's image. One shows the mascot as a blocky image, and another as a helium balloon. For example, in total, only 4 Crypto Snoos have been released. Reddit wouldn't comment further on what sort of blockchains we supported if it were to launch its NFT avatars or offer other details about supported blockchains. Now, I check out Reddit occasionally from time to time, but what
time to time?
Holy crap.
Okay, so there's a couple of things here. The first is, okay,
I can't talk right.
I'll deal with the CES tie-in in a minute.
Okay, good.
We're always exploring ways to provide value for users and communities. How does this provide value?
Exactly.
I can't imagine a scenario in which this provides value. It's just another way to go, look what I spent money on. And now the CES tie-in. So I posted about this on my personal Facebook because I was very confused about it. During CES this year, there was a panel about NFTs that was hosted by who else but Paris Hilton. What?
Right. Yeah, right.
And then I find out that like 2 nights ago, she was on Jimmy Fallon also talking about NFTs.
Yep.
I have no idea what she thinks she's gotten herself into, but the conversation was fascinating because there is one particular category of NFT which I was wholly unaware of until about 3 days ago. Thanks, Alante. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. I'm not trying to kill you.
No, you're not.
I'm just trying to get you back for last week. No, that was totally coincidental. But so this trend is traditionally monkeys. It is this same stupid monkey with a bunch of variants, and the Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon each own one, and they each spent thousands of dollars on them. Now, I have my own high-level issues with NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to imagery, I think there are places where they're valuable. I don't think imagery is it. But this is the same stupid idea. Instead of a monkey with a cigarette, we've got an alien with a cigarette, or whatever stupid variants they made of this thing. It's one thing if the idea is that an artist is trying to generate revenue from their art, from their digital art, right? If we wanted to mint an NFT for our cover image for tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And somebody can be the owner of tonight's image. It's the dumbest thing, but whatever. No, it's a dumb thing. It's not the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing is everybody spending money for essentially the same image and not actually owning it because it's not ownership of the image.
Mm-hmm. But is
we
there
can all still save the image?
But my question is, and I didn't see the panel, and I wish, and I'm thankful. Thank my lucky stars.
Well, good news. Anybody who signed up for CES 2022 has until January 31st
to watch the panel,
to go back and rewatch all of the panels. I have to watch it now. After this and the stupid video of her on Fallon, I feel like I have to watch it because I can think of a dozen people offhand, just off the top of my head, that I can think of by name who would be better to have run that panel.
I didn't see the interview, but did she say that's hot?
I don't know. The clip was real short.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching it as part of a talk show that was commenting on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting further and further away from NFTs. The more,
and that goes to
with cryptocurrency, I got closer and closer to it over time. With NFTs, I'm getting further and further away from it.
And that leads to my question. Is there relevancy in NFTs?
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Yeah, let me tell you where it would work real well.
Okay.
It would work real well in a game like Fortnite, where let's say somebody has a unique skin, right? Your character has a unique skin because the Marvel relationship only lasted for 2 weeks. And if you weren't in there and you didn't buy the skin during that time, you can't get it unless you cross your fingers and make an offline agreement with somebody to buy their skin. And then you have to, Fortnite may not be the best example. World of Warcraft is a good one. I've got resources in World of Warcraft. I've got an item that's rare. All you can do is make an agreement with somebody on Reddit or something that you're going to meet up in a place in the game and transfer the ownership from one person to another. But you can pay for it ahead of time and hope that the person shows up, or you can make the trade and hope the person pays you. Neither one is good. But if that item was minted within the game as an NFT, you could trade. You could make that purchase outside of the game and transfer ownership of those items and guarantee that the ownership is transferred. because you own that item outside of the game. It is guaranteed yours, and then you can push it back into the game. So another great example would be like if you were to take a trading card game like Magic the Gathering and make it digital, Magic the Gathering Arena, right? MTG Arena.
Mhm.
Those cards could each be minted as an NFT so that you can guarantee that you're not going to have to worry about a glitch in which a card duplicates itself, because
Right.
blockchain can't do that.
Right.
You don't have to worry about trying to sell or transfer cards in the same way, because in real life, I can hand you money and you can hand me a thing.
Right.
And if you don't hand me the thing, I can hit you in the head, right? There's physical recourse, but in a
Right.
game, there's no physical recourse because you could be across the world with
See,
the person you're trading with. And so this is like an ownership audit trail for a digital asset. Now, an image is not the thing.
Mhm.
A unique thing is the thing, right? Where having a copy of the image of a Magic card, who cares? I have pictures of every card I've ever owned. Who
Mhm.
cares? That's not unique. But the ability to take that as proof that you actually own it and push it into a digital game,
Mhm.
there's your value.
Okay, and I can see that. Okay, so I can see the relevance as an avatar in gaming, like World of Warcraft and Fortnite. But I just don't see how and it's been going on the past maybe 2 years, maybe that they're just trying to like think that NFT is the greatest thing since sliced bread,
Yeah.
and just use that as a.
But people thought that Beanie Babies were the thing that was going to change their retirement.
Right.
People thought that baseball cards were going to be the thing that changed their retirement.
Mhm.
It happens all the time, right?
Right.
There's
Mhm.
always, in collectibles, there's always trends. Go
Yeah.
ask anybody who waited out in a line at midnight to get into a store to buy a Nintendo Amiibo how they feel about their collectible today.
Mhm.
They probably love the item and know it's worthless. But in the time, there was no belief that they were worthless. And so this is the same thing. It's a
Right.
big craze. At some point, you're going to get one in a Happy Meal, and just like a Beanie Baby,
Right.
and the whole thing's going to collapse in on itself like a dying star. But yeah, coins were the same thing, right?
True.
Just a couple of years ago, it's the exact same trend again, but in a new stupid idea. Every company, I think back to Collision 2019, I think, and we're sitting there and we're having 2018 probably. We're having a conversation with a company, right?
Mhm.
They're telling us about their platform. We've got this thing, so, and this isn't a real example. We've got this mobile app, so you can find where all the vegan restaurants are in your area, but places that are certified vegan.
Mhm.
Great. There's a market for that. Oh, and we have an ICO coming up in 6 weeks. Why? Explain how the coin is relevant to your thing.
Mhm.
The ICO is going to be in 6 weeks. Yeah. So don't invest in this one, guys, because this coin doesn't have a reason to exist.
Mhm.
Everybody was looking for a reason to shoehorn cryptocurrency into their apps. And now everybody who creates something digitally, almost everybody, because we create something digitally and we're not rushing to figure out how to NFT our podcast. But just about everybody who is a digital creator is trying to figure out how to NFT their stuff.
Right. Yep.
And it's a bubble, and the bubble is here right now. Honest to God, the bubble's here and it's going to burst here. Honestly, the bubble might burst before the end of this sentence. It's a trend. It's a fad. And like all fads, it will fade quickly and make those who got into it not understanding it look just as silly as Jinko jeans.
Well, speaking of something stupid, this is gonna be a little bit later, so I'm glad you didn't look at the rundown yet, or earlier. But this is something that a little bit in about very shortly, a little bit in the next few minutes. There's something more stupid, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Oh, I look forward to that because
Mhm.
NFTs are on my top 5 list right now.
Okay, well, this is going to be in your top 5, guarantee it. All right, other news this week. Verizon reports results for the fourth quarter of 2021 this week, and they announced that 1 of every 3 Verizon subscribers now has a 5G phone. During the
I don't care about that. I don't care if 33% of Verizon subscribers have a phone. I want to know if 33% of subscribers have 5G service.
Right. Yeah, you're not the only one.
That's a stat that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. During the fourth quarter, the nation's largest carrier reported a net addition of 1.058 million retail postpaid customers with 558,000 phone subscribers. Dividing it up, consumer postpaid net additions came to 667,000, with 336,000 of them counting as phone subscribers. On the business side, 391,000 postpaid net additions were counted, with 222,000 rung up as phone subscribers. Total postpaid churn was 1.01% during Q4.
That's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. While postpaid phone churn during the final 3 months of the year was 0.81%.
Wow.
With over 1 million net additions in postpaid during the fourth quarter of 2021, Verizon saw a huge improvement compared to the 279,000 net increase it announced during the same quarter 1 year ago.
You mean when people are outside of their house, a phone that goes with them is more important? Huh.
Interesting.
You don't say.
Right. On a sequential basis, the 558,000 net additional postpaid phone subscribers added in Q4 topped the 429,000 that the carrier reported during Q3 of 2021 by 30%. As 2021 came to an end, Verizon had 142.8 million retail connections. Wireless service revenue rose 6.5% to $17.8 billion. The increase was driven by a hike in the amount of revenue generated by each account, volume growth, and the acquisition of TracFone Wireless, which took place on November 23rd of last year, 2021. TracFone added 20 million subscribers to Verizon's prepaid customer list. Commenting on the results, of Verizon CEO Hans Vestberg said 2021 was a transformational year for Verizon that will serve as a catalyst for us. We delivered on all goals in 2021 and made great progress on our 5 paths of growth.
Gross is funnier.
Finishing the year with
sticky, stinky.
Oh boy. Finishing the year with strong operating and financial momentum. He also says, quote, as we move into 2022, we have the necessary assets to realize our strategy that we laid out in 2019. We are laser focused on executing our 5G strategy and providing value to our customers, shareholders, employees, and society, as 2022 will be the most exciting year yet for Verizon. And also, when they were in their results, they didn't really delve into their Fios ads too much. They were really hyped on the wireless side of the company.
Okay. So one of the things that I always find interesting these days is to look at these numbers, right? A net addition of 1.058 million retail postpaid customers. 558,000 of those were phone subscribers, which means that 450,000 of those were not phone subscribers, which means their tablets, their watches, their air cards,
jetpacks.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's an impressive percentage to not be phones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been out of the market on that end of things for well over a decade at this point. So it's interesting to see, I guess not well over a decade. I guess it's like 2 months over a decade, but still. Yeah. Just before Thanksgiving would have been 10 years. Interesting. But that's a huge change where, I mean, most of our stores didn't even carry air cards in the store for Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, or T-Mobile. We did because it just wasn't that big of a business. And here we're looking at almost 50% of the new hardware activations were non-phones. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So they did well for Q4. All right. Next up, remember not sleeping the night before the SATs, next morning, rushing to your school with pencil and paper in your hand. Now, for you kids out there who's going to take the SAT in a few years, you can now rejoice. Right. The SAT, or standardized college admission test, will be taken exclusively on computers starting in 2024. This is coming from the New York Times. The new system will spell the end of tests taken on paper with number 2 pencils and a rite of passage for American high school students, since the SAT was first administered nearly 100 years ago. Students will instead complete the exams on laptops or tablets, either their own or devices by the school. If students don't have a device, the board will provide one on test day. And if a student loses power or connectivity, the College Board says, which administers a test, quote, the digital SAT has been designed to ensure they won't lose their work or time while they reconnect. On top of the technical changes, excuse me, the testing time we shortened to 2 hours instead of 3. It'll feature shorter reading passages with one question for each, reflecting a wider range of topics, more representative of what students will see in college. For the math section, calculators will finally be allowed.
Well, yeah, because it's on a computer. You're holding a calculator.
Duh. And students and teachers will get test scores days rather than weeks, with educators no longer having to deal with packing, sorting, or shipping test materials.
Why would it take days?
Why
wouldn't it be when I hit submit, I can find out what the score is?
Right then and there. Well, that's a good question.
Because I think the writing section was removed again, right? We're back down to just 1,600 instead of 2,400.
I believe so. I remember
I'd hate to try and do an essay section on a tablet.
Yeah, right.
I wrote one article during CES on a phone one time and nearly chucked the phone.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that had a physical keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. The College Board said that in pilot testing, 80% of students found the digital-only test less stressful. 11th grade student Natalia Casio told the board, quote, it felt a lot less stressful and a whole lot quicker than I thought it'd be. The shorter passages helped me concentrate more on what the question wanted me to do. So
why would it possibly be less stressful? I've never had a piece of paper randomly turn off on me during a timed test.
I guess maybe they don't have to worry about, well, I don't know. That's a good question.
It's weird. I would feel more stress trying to do it on a computer, thinking in the back of my head, oh my God, this thing's going to want to update. This thing's going to reboot in the middle of this test. Because I've had when I was doing college, I had a computer reboot in the middle of a timed test.
Oh, wow.
I've never had a piece of paper reboot.
I guess maybe she's stressed, not less stressful. I'm not, I guess, I don't know. I'm
80% of students found the digital only tests less stressful. It's focused on the digital aspect, not even the fact necessarily that the questions are shorter or that the reading sections are shorter. I'd prefer a longer one with more questions because you get to knock more out quicker, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'm.
Are they so unfamiliar with paper that seeing a number 2 pencil is stressful? Oh my god, I don't have a pencil around here. Well, I guess that kind of helps prove the point, doesn't it?
Right.
I do have a pencil around here. Oh my god, how does this thing work? I don't understand. Stress.
Oh boy, yeah, this is something that's odd and weird. Speaking of weird,
and
this is why Warner Music Group is creating a performance venue in the metaverse. It's teaming up with the Sandbox to create a quote, a hybrid of musical theme park and concert venue on the platform. What in
the hell is the Sandbox?
Got me. Some of WMG's vast roster of artists, which includes the likes of Ed Sheeran, Green Day, and Dua Lipa, are expected to play shows and take part in music experiences on the virtual stage at a later date. I don't know if this is a group or not. I don't know, or it's the venue. The Sandbox will offer.
Sandbox is a VR platform.
Oh, okay. Thanks, because I didn't.
While you're talking, I was doing research.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, the Sandbox will offer ardent fans the chance to buy virtual property next to WMG's section of the metaverse. The deal will result in the Sandbox first music theme world. The platform has teamed up with artists including Snoop Dogg, Deadmau5, and Steve Aoki on an individual basis. But this is its biggest music partnership to date. WMG and the Sandbox didn't say when the virtual venue would debut. It goes back to the NFTs and why?
Okay. Why? Let me start here and dispel this stupid. The metaverse is just VR rebranded.
Right.
Let's not pretend that it's anything more. The metaverse is PlayStation Home on an Oculus headset. Mm-hmm. That is all we're talking about here. Now, the idea that Warner Music has teamed up with a company with a VR environment to build a concert stage, totally on board for. I'm not a VR person, but
I'm not either.
But I am an AR person, as we all know. I've got a HoloLens out in mission control. Mm-hmm. But I understand that one of the things that VR is going to do is give you the ability to be places that you're not.
Right.
So a concert venue, I get. Fortnite has already proven that a virtual concert venue with an avatar of the musician Fortniting around on the stage is enough to get people excited. So if you can then put that into an Oculus headset, okay. And by the way, Facebook, I'm not going to always call you Meta, and Meta, I'm not calling the Oculus anything else. Y'all screwed up changing the name of the Oculus. It will always be the Oculus, and you're probably going to have to adapt, and not us. So taking essentially the Fortnite concert venue where they proved that there's interest and making it feel a little more immersive makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. The whole rest of the thing, buying land around the... there's another place where NFTs work. Just as a note, that's another place where NFTs make sense. The actual plots of land within this VR environment should each be minted as an NFT so that you can buy and sell them outside of the platform. So there's another place where NFTs make sense. Now, the concept behind it is, again, stupid. But if you're going to implement it, NFTs are the way that you should implement it. But yeah, the idea of selling land in a virtual environment to me is idiotic. But NFTs are idiotic most of the time as well. I also wouldn't buy resources in a video game, though. So, you know, I'm not the target demo for this, obviously. But I will continue to fight against stupidity.
Agreed. This is, you know, and I'm just really like, I guess maybe that these music companies are looking, like you said, looking for ways to, I think maybe to reinvent themselves. And I think maybe that they're just saying they're ones to like put their talent elsewhere.
Yeah, they're looking for new ways to monetize something that already exists.
And that's the other
which
I was getting to.
You know, musicians in particular looking for new ways to because I mean, you could be Neil Young and desperately need to find a new way to monetize your music catalog. But you know, I don't know. It all seems like 3D TVs to me.
Right.
That's my feeling on big consumer NFT stuff. That's my feeling on big consumer VR/metaverse stuff. It's 3D televisions. And how many of us have 3D televisions? Exactly.
Yeah.
My father does. And you know how many glasses he has? 0. Because the TV was on sale and the glasses weren't. And so it was a good deal on the television. And who cares about the 3D?
Right.
That was literally the decision that was made. I think they may have thrown in a pair of the glasses in the box, but only one. So, now, if we're talking about the laptop from CES, Demenco.
Yeah.
All right. That's a 3D television I can get behind because I don't need anything. But yeah, no, I think this is 3D televisions. Just like cryptocurrency, you know, everybody has to have their own coin. No, you don't.
No, you don't. Right.
And today, how many of those exist? None of them.
Right.
We're back to blockchain and Ethereum. I mean, yes. Can I go into Coinbase right now and go find hundreds of coins? Of course I can.
Absolutely.
And are there new ones that come out every day? Of course there are. But there aren't startups with 3 people doing real estate drone footage saying, and we have a coin. Why? Shut up. Don't think that much about it. Which is basically the answer that we kept getting. Don't think too much about it. And it's the same thing here. Why did you make an NFT for a meme that's been around for 15 years? Don't think too much about it.
Yeah. Well,
this is a topic that I'm both passionate and annoyed by.
Yes, that's why when I was doing the rundown, that's why I did that on purpose.
You wanted to piss me off on a Friday night.
a little bit, but you got me back. You got me back with almost choking to death.
Choking on your drink.
Right. Score. All right. And finally on this episode, now
that wasn't our and finally. Oh no! What weird thing is coming next?
This weird thing is coming next.
That was you.
So, yeah. Okay. So,
this.
for those who are listening on the audio feed, so Disneyland in Paris, and an artist named Stella McCartney has designed Minnie Mouse's very first pantsuit. And
if we're not careful, she's going to run for president next.
Right. And the Twitterverse
most famous female to wear a pantsuit. I couldn't leave it alone. Go ahead.
That's okay. All right. So Minnie will don the blue and black blazer and pants in March during Disneyland Paris's 30th anniversary celebration and Women's History Month. This is from a statement from McCartney. She said, quote, "I wanted Minnie to wear her very first pantsuit at Disneyland Paris, so I've designed one of my iconic costumes, a blue tuxedo, using responsibly sourced fabrics." She also says in the statement, "This new take on her signature polka dots makes Minnie Mouse a symbol of progress for a new generation." Well, That seems nice, right? Well, as of this recording of this episode, there is 2.8 thousand tweets with comments like, gosh, no, if you're going to change a dress, stay with the red, white, and black color theme. Where did the blue come from?
For sure.
Next one, Disney, go woke or go home. It doesn't feel like the Minnie I grew up with. Next one, I just chose a couple. There's a whole mess of them. It looks like crap. Polka dots and stripes packed together is just a no. Plus that dark color under, this is capitalized under black stripes and dots /dots. It'll just all look black or navy blue from any sort of distance.
Yeah, it's gonna take terrible photos.
Yeah, cool. She's in a pantsuit. I don't see where the big deal is. My issue is that it's ugly as hell pantsuit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if she wants to cosplay as Hillary Clinton, that's fine. But even Hillary didn't wear a pantsuit that terrible.
Right. Right. Who thought that blue with black polka dot was a way to go on this? Disneyland Paris didn't immediately respond to requests for comment about how long Minnie's new look will last. And there is a plethora.
This image on Twitter, that's how long it's going to last. Because I didn't see. So I saw this earlier too.
Okay.
Unrelated to show prep. I saw this earlier and I was looking at the comments and I got to tell you, the ratio of negative to positive comments is not in Disneyland Paris's favor.
You're absolutely right.
It's like 10-1 at best.
Mm-hmm.
Even people who are super big, like supporters of the concept, like this one, it's like, okay, it's a pantsuit. Who cares?
Right.
It's ugly. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. Whoever designed it should be embarrassed. And whoever approved it should be more embarrassed. Simply from a design standpoint. You know, the high contrast is to look good on screen and to look good in photos.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all of the characters have high contrast. This low contrast is going to take photos that make it look like a button that's disabled on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to look grayed out. It's going to look like Minnie Mouse is disabled on a computer, right? Oh, I can't interact with Minnie Mouse. Or, oh my God. All right, let's tie it all back together. Minnie Mouse with the blue and black pantsuit is DLC that has to be unlocked through an NFT purchase.
And notice we're circling back to NFT.
She's disabled in the game, and you have to make an NFT purchase to unlock her. And then the colors will look normal. They'll come back to red and white or something.
Right. So there you go.
Stupid.
Again, see, this is the theme of stupidity. Like pretty much like this has been a theme for the past
episode 101. Stupid. ...
Well, no, I kind of like.
Oh yeah. Because my thing makes it sound like we're stupid, which
right,
is obviously not the goal. But I just had to get that out there.
No, it's okay.
Because it was definitely the theme of the episode.
Right. All right. With that, where's the music? Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. And what we're gonna say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said so. I apologize. All right. And with that, that is the tech news for the week for Friday, January 28th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. Episode. Show notes from this episode can be found at gncweekly.com. Also, be sure to check out the latest tech news and commentary from geeknewscentral.com. And be sure to tune in Mondays and Thursday evenings at geeknewscentral.com/live for the Geek News Central podcast. And then be sure to watch and tune in at GNC Weekly Live, gncweekly.com/live, Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, don't forget about our TPN CS giveaway, which can be found at gncweekly.com/giveaway. For those who enter, 2 individuals will win some great CS swag and TPN merch. So be sure to enter, as the last day is Friday, February 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll announce our 2 winners on our Friday, February 11th episode. So good luck to all that enter. And as always, if you are a new podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe to the GNC WIR channel on YouTube. Also, please make sure to click on the bell and always select notifications so you'll not miss this episode. Also, be sure to share this episode with people you know. Check out the podcast and pass the word that this podcast is easy to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And be sure to tune in to F5 Live Refresh Technology with Scott and Abram Pilch. Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern Time will be at f5live.tv/join us, or be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you have a comment on this week's episode, we would love to hear them. Head on over to gncweekly.com/connect and connect via email, Twitter, or Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Kirk Corliss. Scott is on Twitter at TTMABO. Till the next episode of GNC Week in Review. So long.
Ciao.